The National Bureau of Statistics is moving towards rebasing and including more items and incorporating more sectors in determining the country's consumer price index and gross domestic product. This will include digitalization of price data collection and incorporating prices on e-commerce platforms, among others. The National Bureau of Statistics disclosed this at a stakeholder sensitization workshop on rebasing Nigeria's CPI and GDP.
There is no state that is compiling GDP now in isolation. They must come to MBS to work together so that we ensure that whatever figure that we are arriving at is consistent with what we have at the national. There are some components of the computation that cut across all the states, that no one state can lay claim to that sector. So we have the national figure for which we can decompose it with some indicators across the state. So no state can do that on their own without input from MBS. So we are working with them to ensure that there is that consistency. Metadata availability. We are going to also be, with this rebasing now, give us an opportunity to change the way we share data or bring data out, especially for prices. The weight for each of the item, the code and programming that we use, and then the raw data. So I think we are working towards that to be able to do that, to achieve transparency and credibility of the data.
I mean, the importance of GDP, I think, is pretty clear. I also don't think there's much that I need to say on the importance of CPI. I mean, I think we all know that at the very moment there is a lot of price volatility, and especially the poor people are really struggling to make ends meet because of the erosion of purchasing power. Measuring this is really important, because in the end, if you want to inform policies, you don't want to inform policies just by some anecdotes from the market. You want to have solid data showing what's happening, and based on that, design policies and programs to make sure that the poor in Nigeria especially, but of course also in general all Nigerians, can have sustainable livelihoods in this country.
When I read through an IMF report on Nigeria's standing in the issue of categorization of economy in Africa, I discovered that Nigeria has fallen from 1 to number 4. And South Africa has taken over. I just got that report from IMF. That's what you said, and I saw the GDP. So I saw it, and I was looking at that. So it's quite wonderful. That's why this is very timely for us to consider this. Now we're talking about price index, and price index is one of the wahala worrying us presently, particularly for those of us who are administrators in the university. And we find people are complaining of price. Students, labor, everybody's complaining of price. That's why the labor, even NLC, is today. What are they talking about? Increase. It's all because of what? The price of goods is doing what? Is skyrocketing.
If you rebase now, what happens to debt to GDP? It will send signal to government that, oh, debt to GDP is now lower, maybe 15%.